he gave Andrew Van Ginkel a contract extension. What did you notice about him last year, the first year you guys working together, about his versatility and the value that he was able to bring to the defense?
Well, it was obvious by how early he splashed. I mean, week one, he was making game-changing plays for us. I think his versatility is one of the most unique skill set relative to his position. You know, a lot of nickels can play safety and play corner and stuff, but you talk about someone who has their hand in the dirt, being able to match routes with some of the top tight ends and running backs in the NFL and understand concepts. It's been incredible to see him. Was a fan of his career before he came here, and then fortunate enough to be able to play with him for a few years here. Really excited when he got that deal done because he's an elite football player, elite talent.
Harrison, what's it been like just watching this entire offseason play out and the amount of moves that the front office has made?
I think one of the things that I would love to comment on is our ownership. I mean, to come to a place in free agency already 4 years ago, first of all, can't believe that's how fast it's been. But, you know, they truly are putting one foot down, one out, just stepping and striding, trying to win this thing. And it's really cool to see an ownership that cares so much about that and doing it the right way. So fast forward to this offseason and to see the trust they gave JJ, handing the keys kind of over to him and the moves that they made to support that. Picking up offensive weapons, picking up defensive talent inside of, you know, these two guys that we signed in my room might be, you know, some of the most unique skill sets that I've ever got to play with. And so really excited for what that can bring to our defense and, you know, add a couple corners, add some versatility at the linebacker spot. Like every move was very, very calculated and very optimistic about our future.
Do those moves mean fewer snaps for you? And if so, is that a good thing? What's the thought process now with two guys being added to the line who are going to bolster and play quite a bit probably?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would imagine that like most defensive lines, you see a pretty solid rotation. You know, the three of us are older players, so I think anytime that you can, you know, go out there and platoon in, you know, 3 to 5 to 6 play roles, you can really attack with waves. And because of the depth we have, we'll truly have waves that we can throw, and also the versatility of the different packages. Hey, this package we got these 3. This package we have these 2. Now we have these 4. Now we have just this 1, and you're able to throw so many different elements at so many players who can play different techniques along the line that I see that overflowing and snap counts evolving over what type of team we're playing and what type of offense we're attacking and whose skill set could be the best strength for that. But yeah, I imagine we'll share snap counts a little more than I think I was playing like 80-something% one year I was here or something like that. I don't see that happening.
Harrison, you talked last year about kind of doing some different like off-season workout stuff. How much of what last year's regimen did you maintain or change?
Yeah. I would say fairly similar. Each year you learn something new. Came after the season, you know, had a few things that I had to clean up, so that delayed some of my off season that I was hoping to get into a little faster. And then, you know, our new strength coach has a new program that has had a lot of success with other places. And so implementing over this 9 weeks or so that we're here, switching over to that training block, which is a lot more power and rate of force development. How quick can you move from A to B rather than what I love to do is put as much effing weight on the bar as you can and see if you can move it. As you get older, you have to, you know, evolve and try to do some of that minimum effect dose training. And so I'll be implementing that more power and speed stuff to, you know, try to work on get off and pass rush and some of those things that we're hoping to see a step in this season.
Some of the other leaders of the team, Grenard, Jefferson, have talked about the sense of urgency coming off last year. I guess I wonder what you notice about this time of year for you guys with the number of players who are veterans coming off the 14-win season, how that might be different than previous years at this time.
You know, I think one of the cool things after last season is when we have exit interviews with head coach and GM and leadership, and in a lot of those conversations, you know, the whole narrative of the organization was that for the last 3 seasons, we've kind of come in during OTAs and we said like, hey, let's build the foundation. And then when you finish a season and half your roster leaves and you get a new season, whole new staff or whole new teammates, you have to start a foundation. And then the next season, we lost a lot of people and we had to start a foundation. And so the conversation was, we're going to bring in enough like-minded individuals who know what success looks like that we shouldn't have to rebuild the foundation. We should be able to hit the gas and accomplish that when we're leaving here in OTAs in a couple weeks, that the foundation already been set, and now we're striving for like a championship-worthy organization. So because we have some veterans that came in and have found success in other places, played in Super Bowls, they've been able to jump on what we're building here. Obviously, the scouting department did a great job in the character side of things of who've come in this building, and I think we're further along on June 2nd than we have been in previous off seasons while still working towards the same goal.
What's it like walking into these doors knowing that the foundation has been laid for you guys and now it's time to take that next leap?
I guess almost back to your question of there is that urgency, but it's a controlled urgency. It's not urgent because we have a window that's this big. It's urgent because we've now had 3 seasons with a big core of guys who've been working and building towards something. And so instead of having to learn this whole thing again, we're just trying to re-educate these new players on how we got here so fast so that we can evolve into this. I don't remember who said it, but someone in our staff said if you try to go win a Super Bowl in 1 year and you come up short, you're kind of screwed. If you go try to win 7 straight Super Bowls, you have a really great chance to do that. So if we keep putting the pieces into place to try to win one for a decade, you have a much higher chance to do so.
What does that step look like? What's that culture to like? You lose a year ago in the playoffs, but what does that give you as far as a building block for a reference point for like 2025, 26?
Yeah, I think that because we still now have a lot of the players, yes, we added new additions, but we still have a lot of core players who have now years of working together. You have guards and tackles and that have worked together, tight ends working with running backs and different passing off blocking combinations defensively. Another year of Cashman calling the defense, and IP's now had a whole season of working with him, and JG and Gink have had a whole season of rushing together, and now you have enough of that cohesion collectively, and then our schemes. What have teams who've beat us, how have they done it, where have we can break down and just say, let's look at third down. Well, no, let's look at third down from 2 to 5. Let's look at it from 6 to 9. Let's look at it from 9+. What areas are we actually struggling the most in, and really emphasize those specific areas? Is it red zone? Well, is it red zone from the 20 and in? Is it from the 20 to the 13? Is it from the 13 to the 5? Or is it short yardage? Where it's not just like, oh, we're good on red zone, great, but where are we not as great as we are in other places? And so at least collectively from all 3 phases, I think we've now know our recipe of how we can win games. So let's focus on what we do well, but also focus on the things we don't do well to try to raise the bar.
Harrison, just circling back to Javon and Jonathan, you mentioned them as unique. What's unique about them, and how do you see them complementing you and the rest of that room?
Well, I just think, when you have players that have, been Pro Bowl type players, career earnings of what they are, found success this long in the league, they've obviously have a few tricks up their sleeve that have helped them do it. And so from the pass rush standpoint, they have some things that are being coached by them that I've never really had coached me before, and have like tokened pass rush moves that they've found a lot of success with, and work counters off of those moves. And then how do they play the run game? And they've played in different schemes. I know J.A.'s been in Washington the whole time, but Gray's been in a few different teams, been in a 3-4, 4-3, and attacking 4-3. And so just understanding how they see blocks and what they anticipate and how they play stuff, when you have those like 10-year type vets who found success, and you get them in a room and just soundboard off of each other, there's a lot of great things that can happen. And one of the things about Graves specifically is his get-off. Only other player I feel like has played similar to that is I had some time with Ed Oliver, where he's kind of known for his first step off the football. And a lot of time when you have a player that's so vertically disruptive, there's areas to overlap players. So they get so vertical that they might take your guy right off in front of you, and you can overlap and kind of make some free plays that way if you understand where the block's going, where the running backs are going to go. And then, again, with Jonathan Allen, I'm most impressed with his, aside from his on-field stuff, he's a really good dude. Like, I hope you guys get the chance to talk to him and see the type of family man he is and leader that he is. He's going to be a friend of mine for life, I feel like, outside of football, just because of the character he has. And then on the field, the way that he does his chop hump, I don't know anybody who can stop it. And even though we're just out here kind of jogging around, when he works that move, I'm definitely taking notes, and we're walking through that. I want to add that to my tool belt.
You're pretty jacked up about this team.
Well,
it's not a question, it's just an observation.
Oh, well, I don't know. It's exciting when you you see the moves that they made, and you see the drive from the top down, from our ownership to our head coach to our GM to our coaching staff, the push that they're showing and confidence in us makes us work even harder in the off seasons and make us want to make our coaches and our organization and our fans proud as well. You'd hate to be, the one loose chain on the link, and so I feel like that's our entire team feels that same way.
Harrison, what stands out to you about being around JJ McCarthy this year?
Well, he's gotten jacked up. I don't know if you've seen a change in his demeanor, but I thought it was really cool for his growth. I've commented before about how he came to me the week after his injury to try to learn more about the defense, and he's pulled me at times. Hey, I saw you were in a 4-eye on this play, and you moved to a 2. What were you doing there? Why? How can I see a nickel if you're doing that? So asking those great questions. He's really stepped up in the personal power role where in the locker room, I'm constantly seeing him going to new guys, to new players, dapping each other up, sitting on the couches and just having conversation, where last year it was off to rehab, off to meetings. He understands that we have to build a family here and that, you can't have unique results without unique relationships that we believe in. And then, man, he's got some confidence. And he reminds me of like Josh Allen when I was with him in Buffalo, coming into his own and understanding the power that he has to lead this organization, and he's doing a fantastic job doing that.
I saw Frank Ragnow retire today.
Is that true?
Yeah, he announced it. Just wondering what your impressions were.
My impressions of Frank is he's one of the best centers I've ever had the privilege to play against, and he does it the right way. And I think the first time I actually had quality time with him was when I was nominated for Walter Payton Man of the Year, and so was he. And to learn all the things that he does off the field for his communities and the type of husband and family man that he is. I know that every time I had to play against him, I had to buckle my chin strap extra tight and watch a lot of extra film. But there's centers that I've talked to, and our offensive linemen after playing them would come up and ask me questions about how he would block things and stuff, because he really, I don't want to say revolutionized the game, but like his technique and fundamentals and the way that he played was acknowledged amongst all players on both sides of the line of scrimmage. And so, I can, insane career, honestly, insane career. And, I guess it will be nice not to see him for 2 weeks, or 3 times a year, however many times we have to see him. But man, yeah, incredible career. Should be very proud. I'm happy for him.
Will talks every year about evolving.
Yeah.
Like, how much evolution, I guess, is possible considering all that you guys have done over the last couple of years?
Well, you see that each year, like if you go watch our tape from 2023 and then go watch the tape from 2024 and then you'll watch this season, each year will be a different version, because when we showed the all up bringing 7 or 8, well, then the next year we need to figure out how to only bring 3 or 4. And then the next year we found that they had answers. And you saw later in the season as some of our players were catching screen passes and 4 open looks. I think we led the league in interceptions last year. Well, does that mean teams are going to try to run the ball more against us? Does that mean teams are going to try to find out against the few teams that we lost to last year, how did they beat us? And what are teams going to try to copy that too? And so we would like to have so many different bullets in the chamber that we can play teams of vastly different ways, in vastly different fronts, vastly different coverages. Are we going to move and bring everybody? Are we not going to move and bring everybody? I've said before, the threat of the bomb is just as scary as the bomb itself. So are we bringing the bomb or are we threatening the bomb? And I think we just need to evolve in that. And with the new pieces we have, when you have say you've got a Jonathan Grenard, Dallas Turner, Javon Hargrave, a Jonathan Allen, and a Van Ginkel out there, are we going to make them run games? Are we going to sprint them across your face? Are we going to have them rip up the field? Like, it's a pretty aggressive pass rushing group right there. Is some of them going to drop out and run in coverage? Like, I just think that we are evolving in that sense, and we have some amazing players to help our scheme with that.